Welcome back to the channel. In this video we are taking a look at a new game called Insurmountable. This is a new release on Steam. It will cost you £15.50, although it's currently having a launch sale, and it's a point and click strategy survival, which doesn't sound too appealing, but the way they've set this game up I think is actually quite cool. So when you first launch into the game, you will be able to select the mountain, you can select the different route, you can select the character to choose. All the characters come with their own sort of pieces of equipment. One might have a flask of hot tea to increase your body temperature. One might have a tent so that you can sleep and is more comfortable and stuff, like you don't lose as much off your stats. There are different difficulties in the game. So you choose your character, you choose the mountain, and then you choose the route. Each route will have different sort of modifiers. Some of them might make you go a little bit more insane, like go insane faster. Others will have a sturdy rock face, so it'll make it easier to climb. And the whole premise of this game, the whole point of this game, is to point and click your way from where you start up to the very top of a mountain. Once you get to the top, however, that is not the end. You have to make your way down part of the mountain behind where you start, like behind the peak. You have to make your way down a little bit just to get to safety. The reason I say it's strategy is because you have to do a lot of thinking. You can't just jump into this game from the very beginning and just speed your way up the mountain. It's not going to work like that. You have to take your time, you need to be patient, you need to think ahead of time and all that sort of stuff. Because you pick your mountain, you pick your route, you pick your character, you jump into the game. There is a leveling system for each run. You don't actually have character progression as far as I'm aware. I've only done 2 runs, one complete and one fail. But in-game, you have a level system sort of thing, and every time you level up, earning XP from doing random in-game events, you will be able to unlock a new skill. The skill will only last for that one run, but other skills will give you things like there's Master Climber, which will reduce energy costs on all terrain, and there's another one called Night Owl, which will let you earn more XP during nighttime events. So these events that I've been speaking of, you can see shrines, there's camps, there's a few different encounters and stuff that you can experience. You can go into a cave as an example, and you can explore it a little bit. You might get a little bit of XP, then you can sleep there because it'll be better than just sleeping outside on the mountain at some random part. You can go to shrines and you'll be offered either, I don't know, say you go to one, you'll get offered some health or sanity. Other times you'll be offered maybe energy or oxygen. You get a choice out of 2 stats and you get a little bonus to them. There are other ones available, and I really like the way they've structured these events. The mountains will be procedurally generated, so each time you climb a mountain will be different. You'll face different events. You'll have different peaks and stuff you have to reach. And as I said, there's like 3 different routes to each of the 3 mountains. You have 5 stats in this game, being your health, your oxygen, energy, body temperature, and sanity. Sanity will be for, I don't know, if you've got some sort of like eerie modifier on, you'll hear like voices and stuff and like crazy things happen and you'll lose sanity. Your body temperature, you're on top of a mountain, you start getting really cold as you're progressing through. There are skills and stuff that can offset that and you can actually increase your body temperature as you're moving. You have your energy as you're moving and you're progressing up the mountain, you'll lose your energy. Your health will be if you fall down a gap in the rocks or something. There's a few different sort of like dangers to climbing different parts of the terrain. There's tooltips and stuff when you first spawn in, and they will give you a rough sort of idea of what to expect. When you reach 6,000 meters on any of the mountains, as far as I'm aware it's any of them, the ones I did, when you reach 6,000 meters, you will start to lose oxygen. Your character cannot deal with the air that's up there. You're very, very high up, and your oxygen will start depleting. The only way to start getting oxygen back is to drop below 6,000 meters. You can also find oxygen bottles, which I believe, if I remember correctly, will give you an extra 45 oxygen. You can get energy, like your stats and stuff can increase a couple of different ways. Like you can do the events, you can go to sleep, you can find items like canned food will give you energy, hot tea, body temperature. Then as I said about oxygen bottles, The skills will be incredibly helpful as you level up. As well as the skills, there are abilities in the game. You will find you get abilities with things like ignoring negative weather and terrain effects for 6 hours in game, but they will have very long cooldowns, like you might not be able to use it for another 24 hours. The game time does go very quick. There is an option to speed it up a little bit, just so that you don't have to do all of your movement really slow. As I said about consumables, you've got tents to sleep in, hot flasks of tea, canned food. It's not all about getting to the peak of this mountain though, because as I said, once you get to the top, you have to come part way down just to get yourself to safety after. Your oxygen will be dropping, you'll be getting cold, you'll be very low on energy. The hardest part of the game, in my opinion, isn't actually climbing to the top of the mountain, it's getting yourself back down. Because you start off, your character's fresh, your oxygen's fine because you're not too high up. Your body temperature's fine, you're quite sane, there's no chance of going insane. Your health's maxed out. It's just a chill sort of beginning to the game. You encounter some events, you build up your items in your inventory. You can even find new clothing, like boots that have different abilities. Or I say abilities, stats. And then you can get like a pick, like an axe sort of thing, that will help you climb different amounts and it will reduce the amount of time it takes to climb. But once you get to the top and you turn around, all of your stats are depleting and they are going down very, very quick. So you need to kind of plan ahead and be prepared for once you've reached the top to get back down to the bottom, or at least to the part where you're safe. There will be a couple of events on your way down, but there won't be anywhere near as many as what you'll encounter on the way up. As I said, there's a skill that will allow you to gain more XP from nighttime events and stuff. There are some for dangerous events and situations as well, but there is a day and night cycle in the game. It's obviously going to be a lot colder, it's going to be a lot tougher to climb during the nighttime. The events do change up. You'll come across different animals and different people with shelters and stuff, and different graves and dead bodies and things like that. It's a very, very cool game. I did thoroughly enjoy my time. I'll be back to visit and hopefully increase my difficulty and do some different routes on different mountains and stuff. And as I said, the game costs a little over £15 on Steam. I think it's a fairly unique sort of game. Very enjoyable, looks pretty. It's all based on hex tiles, so where you're pointing and clicking, it's all hexagons to climb up, and the path is very, very clear. It's an enjoyable game. And I love how they've mixed survival in with the strategy. Because as I said, you can't just rush in and go and get it done straight away. As soon as your health goes, once your oxygen and energy have depleted, you're going to start getting injured a lot more. Then once your health gets to 0, that's game over. You've wiped. You've got to start a whole fresh run. So if you do make it to the top, if you're playing this game, if you ever decide to play this game, you need to remember it's not over. You've got to get part way back down, and that's where it gets really, really tough. You're right at the top. You've got a steep climb down. You're going to be tired. You're going to be lacking oxygen heavily. Because I wouldn't say, unless you are thoroughly exploring the lower layers, you're not going to have too many items. And if you're running a tent, if you decide to pick one up or you start with a character that has one, they take up a lot of backpack / inventory space. You can, however, just sleep randomly, although it's going to affect you in different ways. It's going to be a lot colder, your body temperature will deplete faster, and things like that. But what we're going to do is leave the video there. That's my review on Insurmountable. I totally recommend picking it up if you have the opportunity to. Right now, the game is only available on Steam, although it will be coming to Nintendo Switch, all of the Xbox and PlayStation consoles, being from the Xbox One and the PS4 upwards. So that's going to do it for the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.